Hey guys, Zack here, and welcome back to another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Gashapon high-grade Diorama Godzilla. Now, this version of Godzilla comes from the 1989 film Godzilla vs. Biollante, which I've talked about briefly in the past, and I still think that it's a very good movie. There's one thing involving the plot that I mentioned before, I'm not the biggest fan of, and it sort of involves Biollante's backstory and how she came to be in that movie, which I think is kind of weird and almost like a little like morbid, but you know, you're just gonna have to watch the movie for yourself because I don't really want to talk about spoilers if you haven't seen it. So the only thing I can say is definitely check it out, because even though the story is a little weird, the movie overall is still very good. So yeah. Anyway, before we take a look at Godzilla himself, we'll take a quick look at his display base. And it's pretty much what you've seen before. The Godzilla-like pattern base right here. And just, you know, cracked like graystone. So, yeah, again, nothing special. We do get a building accessory here that actually looks very nice. The painting, usually, if it was just like a solid, just like gray piece, and I wouldn't mind too much, but like on the top of like the, you know, destroyed part of the building right here, there's actually like a darker shade of black. Or like a very dark shade of gray, almost black. So I think that looks very nice. And this does come apart, so you do have to assemble it a little, which is very simple. The sculpting looks great, and the detailing, again, of the cracks and whatnot in the building and all the rubble, I think looks very nice. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Not a whole lot to talk about. Now for Godzilla himself. And start with Godzilla, we'll take a look at the painting. And the painting on this figure is really good. It's nothing like, you know, crazy, but it's still very good, especially for a small figure like this. I think the painting works very well. Unfortunately, we do have a bit of a paint blemish right here, but that's pretty much it. Most of the body here is the traditional, you know, charcoal blackish color, which is what we've come to, you know, expect from Godzilla himself. His dorsal plates are painted a sort of like a brownish, yellowish color, which looks alright. It looks good for this figure, but in the movie, it was more of like a whitish color. So I feel like I would have preferred this to be white, but that's just me. Very minor. The painting here still looks nice, but again, white would have looked a little nicer. But anyway, his toenails and fingernails here are painted almost the same color as the dorsal plates, but just a darker shade. So I guess it's like a tannish color, which again looks nice. The eyes here are painted black, and his teeth are painted a bonish whitish color. And the rest of the inside of his mouth is painted the traditional pinkish reddish color. Usually what you'd find in, you know, anything that has mouth paint or whatever. That sounded weird, I'm sorry. But anyway, that's pretty much it for the paint. The painting on this figure, again, for such a small figure, I think is very nice. Again, not the cleanest. We do have some minor paint blemishes right here on the side of the tail, but for what it is, the painting here is still very nice. So the painting on this figure definitely gets a pass. Now take a look at the articulation, and just like with Hedorah, there's not really, you know, a lot of, you know, no joints. These are just little statues, but these figures do come disassembled. So if you do get Godzilla, then you should expect them to just, you know, be in a little plastic baggie like so. And it's very simple to put them together. Just put the head on, like so, and just the legs. Then you put on the tail, and that's pretty much it. Again, nothing crazy. It's very simple, so yeah. Just like with Hedorah, this is more of like a statue figure, so there's not going to be a lot of articulation, which is fine. So unfortunately, the articulation on this figure, it doesn't get a pass, but just like with Hedorah, or as I said in Hedorah's review, no pass isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes if it's just like a statue like this, then no pass isn't the end of the world, so yeah. Again, the lack of articulation is not a bad thing, so no pass, but again, it's fine for this figure, so yeah. Anyway, now I'll take a look at the sculpt, and the sculpting on this figure looks very nice, very spot on to how he looked in Godzilla vs. Biollante. I really like how the dorsal plates on the back here look very crowded. I actually like that a lot, and they're kind of like overlapping each other right here, which I think looks very nice. I think the back looks a little weird because like the back itself is like flat, but then it gets a little thicker once it gets to the neck, which again I think is a little weird, but no, not really a deal breaker. The overall sculpting here still looks very nice and very spot on to how he looked in Godzilla vs. Biollante. So the sculpting on this figure, again, for like a small figure like this, the sculpting is great, so it definitely gets a pass. Now we'll take a look at the detailing. And the detailing, once again, I know I keep saying this throughout these little Gashapon reviews, but for such a small figure, the overall detailing is actually very nice. All of the scaling on his head here, detailed very nicely. Everything here, very well defined. Very nice looking, even in the arms here. Nice bit of musculature and like creasing to sort of give it that like guy in a rubber suit feel, which I really like. And even the hands are detailed very nicely. Going to his legs once again, they are detailed very nicely. Everything here very nicely defined. And the scaling throughout the body continues through the tail here, which again looks very nice. And even the dorsal plates are detailed very nicely as well. And that's pretty much it for the detailing on this figure. And I know I keep saying this, but for such a small figure, there's a lot of detailing here, and I really do like that. So the detailing on this figure definitely gets a pass. So at the end of the day, should you get this? Honestly, yes. Goji here is actually one of my favorites in the set. Very nice figure. All these figures in Series 2 here, you know, and even like later on when I take a look at Biolante's Rose form and Kiryu, I still think that these are very nice figures. Once again, I still think that Hedera is my least favorite, but Hedera is still a very nice figure. So, yeah, and these two actually look very nice together. So, yeah. If you want the whole set, it should only cost you like 40 bucks on Amazon, so you're basically paying like 10 bucks a figure, and honestly, I don't think it's worth it. I mean, the whole set itself, it's like very high quality, and these figures are very nice, but I just feel like 40 bucks is a little too high. Maybe if it was like, I don't know, 30, I guess, then I feel like 30 would work, or even, 20. Actually, 20, I don't know. I don't know what a good price for this set would be. Overall, I do think that this set is very nice, so yeah. If you do want it, again, the whole set on Amazon, as I just said, is 40 bucks, so, go to Amazon and check it out. So, yeah. Anyway, if you want to know how big this figure is, here he is next to Dr. Billy Grant. Alright, now that is it for today. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, Zack out.